In this video, we're going to be taking a look at WAVTOOL. Now, I did a few previous videos in terms of the Suno acquisition of WAVTOOL. The first one was kind of like an overview. The one yesterday was very much a deep dive. So if you're interested in all of the features, then make sure you check that out, because what I actually did is I was able to view a lot of videos and actually go through live the features about all of the new stuff that may be coming with Suno. This video, what I've actually done is I've gone onto archive.org in terms of the Wayback machine, because currently if I go into WAVTOOL now, okay, so I go WAVTOOL.com, it's just a landing page in terms of it explaining that it's gone offline, which doesn't really give us much information. So instead what I've done is I've gone into the archive Wayback machine, and I've actually gone back a year just to see how the website actually was before it was acquired by Suno. And this is what we get. So this is what I'll be going through in this video, because the more information we can find out now about WAVTOOL, the more understanding and the quicker we will be at getting to grips with this new digital audio workstation within Suno. So that's why I'm featuring as much information on this as possible. So it goes on to say this is the next generation digital audio workstation. Sorry if I'm in the way. Accelerating music production with generative AI. WAVTOOL is an in-browser generative audio workstation for the future of music production. Unblock your creativity, express your ideas, expand your musical possibilities, become a better music producer with WAVTOOL. Now, this has been seen in Mixmag, Computer Music, the New York Times, KVR, and Attack. Meet your new assistant. This is why I love this tool. Conductor is a multimodal music chatbot. It answers questions, generates audio and MIDI, transcribes recorded music, and much, much more. So this is an example of it here. Make a funky beat. Of course, let me select a drum kit. Now that you've added a drum track, would you like to create a pattern for it? So this guides you through creating music. Can you imagine if all of the doors out there for us producers actually guided us through stuff? I mean, gosh, it would have been so much quicker, wouldn't it? To actually just be kind of somebody on our shoulder to kind of guide us through everything like an assistant. And that's exactly what WAVTOOL did. It was brilliant. And I actually featured it 2 years ago on this YouTube channel, if you're interested in checking that out. But as well as that, in terms of the composer, it says get unstuck, get started and inspired. So Composer is your sledgehammer for writer's block. While active, live MIDI autocomplete understands the musical context of your project. So it listens to all of the tracks that you've currently generated or maybe generated with Suno. And then it will suggest continuations of variations in an instant via MIDI, which is just amazing. Gives you 3 potential generations. You can regenerate if you don't like any of them, and then you're able to tweak those generations as much as you actually like. So for example, this is the preview here. So it'll listen to the track and it will start to give 3 different options. You hover over to actually preview and you can hear the generation. Go Wild will give you a lot more experimentation. You've got new rhythm, you've got 2x, and you just start building by clicking. You start building the MIDI sequence that you want to use. It's just, honestly, it's just brilliant. And this in Suno is going to be absolutely huge. Human in the loops. So it says we take a human-centric approach to AI tooling with you, the musician, guiding our feature design and development roadmap. We consult with musicians at every skill level, so this is what they did. Crafting tools to elevate and enhance human creativity. Come build the future of music production with us. So these are the features now. So we've got audio generator. So typically producers will use things like Splice or maybe a sample AI generator, of which there isn't that many currently in the market. I've featured some of those on my channel previously. But the first feature is an audio generator. So this is about creating unique sounds and instrumental passages of music in any genre. Generated audio is unlicensed, royalty-free, and uniquely created on demand for you, combines well with stem separation for more control. Now, what will be important with the acquisition is checking the terms of service, so that when these new features come on board, as of when they come on board, It's understanding whether the terms of service have changed, because it may be that Suno have decided to put in a non-royalty free license. We just don't know. So it's definitely something to bear in mind. So we've got audio generation. We've also got stem separation, which is something that Suno automatically can do now. However, somebody has challenged in the comments and basically said, look, this is not stem separation of extraction. This is actually just a kind of processing thing that it's doing. It's not actually stemming out perfectly, because that's not how AI music is currently generated, particularly within Suno. It's a diffusion model, and they're all kind of intertwined into each other in terms of the tracks. So it says for stem separation, you can remix well and serve hot. So you can extract drums, bass, vocals, and other instruments from any input audio, indispensable for remixers, practicing musicians, and karaoke fans alike. And what I've said before, there's lots of different tools. For example, you can go into La La La, you can go into FL Studio, you can go into Logic Pro, and you can actually extract stems out of any song currently. However, the benefit of all of this stuff being in Suno is the fact that you've got it all in-house, you've got it on one platform. I just think it's going to be huge. Feature number 3, audio to MIDI. Now, this is something I wasn't expecting until I featured it yesterday. This is called tune transcription, where you can interactively extract notes from audio. WAVTOOL gives you audio to MIDI with detailed real-time control over the transcription process. Now, can you see this slider here? This is what I featured yesterday. You can see when you extract audio to MIDI, there's a lot of noise. And what actually typically happens when I try and do this in various different software is I get too much noise, and it's, let's say just I'm doing a bass drum, but there's all of these other elements of other intertwined samples coming into it. You're able to just slide this over to the less density or more sensitivity, and it'll actually reduce that noise. Now, it may not be perfect, but if it's close to perfect and you just make a couple of tweaks, then that's pretty amazing. And I presume you can preview that as well. And then once you've selected that, you can convert the selected audio to MIDI. The benefit of having audio to MIDI is the fact that you can then control any instrument that you want it to play, which is just brilliant. So it'll keep the notes, but you can choose whichever instrument and it'll just play it on the new instrument on that MIDI notes in real time, which is just brilliant. A future built on strong foundations, WAVTOOL can do that, bringing the full suite of pro-grade DAW features to your browser. The fact that it's browser-based was huge as well. So you've got some more features on here. You've got audio and MIDI recording, so you can use your audio interfaces and MIDI controllers. You've got MIDI export, which I've been crying out for in Suno. I wonder how that would be handled with the AI Suno generated music, as opposed to the stuff that you're generating within WAVTOOL, within Suno. So that will be an interesting one. Sample library, a growing directory of free samples and loops. You've even got something called audio warping, which I know is time stretching and grid alignment of any audio. Chain editor is something that is quite new to me, and it's nice to see that you've got a lot of control here in terms of a workflow. So it's got a chain editor, which is a part modular synth, part recording studio. This is how plugins want to connect. We've also got cloud saving as well. Now, I've mentioned before that one of the biggest risks from my point of view is when you export the project, whether if Suno goes down, people are saying it's not going to go down, don't worry. But if it goes down, are you then going to be able to access these project files as a producer if that's what you've worked on, say, last year? Or does it just output the stems and MIDI files for any DAW to be utilised and used for that and compatible? So the cloud saving is something that I really want to delve into when these features start getting popular and released in Suno. A flexible panel based UI with customizable editor layouts, and this is another biggie, which is VST and AU plugins for top tier support for all your favorite plugins. So you got full speed, full control, and I've been saying this for 2 years now since I started featuring AI music platforms, including Suno from the very beginning, is that we want more control as professional producers. So it's great that there's lots of presets here and open source synthesizers, but actually we can then tweak, we can refine, we can do what the hell we like to that track afterwards. And also another thing is There's going to be, I believe, that when these features, if these features get all released into Suno, maybe drip feed, I don't know, but if they do, then I think in the market there's going to be a lot more AI music that is modified by human intervention. That's what I believe. Now, I do that for my own music. If I'm generating a song, I will always make sure that I manually change things in the mix. I change stems, I add elements, whatever it takes for me to believe that that's a finished track, that's what I'll do. And I normally rate Suno to be, maybe 60-70% good on a track that I really like. And it will take a lot of generations. But when I get there, I'll then work on the remaining 30%. And then that'll give me the perfect track once I'm happy with it. And don't get me wrong, that can still be a lot of work. But it's worth it. Again, some more features. Full-featured wavetable synth, convolution reverb, sidechain compression, live code any WAVTOOL or synth effect, intuitive cross-track routing, parameter automation, multi-input and multi-output effects, and much more. Now, I don't know if all of this stuff is going to be in Suno. We just don't know, but they've acquired all of this, okay? So it makes sense, if they want the best digital audio workstation there is, to incorporate these features so that professional musicians start using the tool. And that way, it's not just an AI music generator platform, it's a DAW platform with maybe AI generation features. Who knows? So that was the main screen. Now, on top of that, I do have some other things that I quickly want to check out. There's this here. Now, there's something called a WAVTOOL bridge. Now, what this does, this will connect all of the plugins installed on your computer via Mac or Windows, and then you download the bridge tool to actually link it up with WAVTOOL. And apparently, what happened if you downloaded it back then, you get 5 free VST plugins with the VST starter pack, which is pretty cool. So plugins are locally installed applications for like new keyboards, that kind of thing, synthesizers, drum kits, whatever, and both commercial and freeware. And WAVTOOL offers plugins as well. And then the bridge is a small application that allows you to link the two together. And Bridge passes audio and MIDI signals between your active plugins and the web app, and manages the plugin interface windows to corresponding tracks and chain editor nodes for a seamless experience. So that is something else that they had. Some of the plugins that they included was Yum Audio, which was from a company that I believe they worked with. There was Crispy Clip Light, Spread Light, Flux Light, Greater Light, and Helm. Now, interestingly, what I think is, are Suno users going to be geared up for this? How many of these users are actually professional musicians? We don't know. And I don't think Suno knows, but this is a direction that it wants to go in. Now, if it is offering free plugins, that would certainly incentivize users that are not professional musicians in Suno to consider using the WAVTOOL elements within it, the DAW, basically. But looking at this, we've got like audio clipping interface, we've got stereo imaging, we've got warmth and dynamic texturing, we've got compression and shaping. So it's good to see that. And then you've actually got a fully fledged synthesizer called Helm, which has also been included. Don't know whether they'll be included when Suno puts these features out, no idea. But again, they've got them. In terms of if you're thinking about what the pricing used to be, quite interestingly, it was fairly inexpensive. So back then there was a free tier for the basic, which just gave you the core elements really, with plugin support, the chatbot, cloud saves and export wave. But what also happened for $10 a month was that you'd also get basic skills. You could export MP3 and MIDI, and you had Composer AI. For $20 a month, what you had is all of those, as well as stem splitting, extracting stems, audio generations, prototype executions, and prototype training, and even more, and multiplayer production. So that's really interesting to see, because don't forget, guys, I personally don't think Suno is going to release this on the free plan to begin with. I think it's going to be for the Premier users, maybe the Pro users as well. We're just going to have to wait and see. But I wanted to show you the pricing of what it used to be so that we can gauge that. As I say, the more information we get right now, the more we are invested in understanding how it's going to work. Is WAVTOOL trying to replace music producers? No. Fully AI generated music may have some use in the world, but we don't think it's very interesting. Yet they've been acquired by Suno. We're here because we love the creative process of music production, and we want to enhance and elevate that process to fullest extent possible. We take great care to ensure that AI features are delivered in a safe and responsible way, always with a focus on inspiring and accelerating human art with maximum control in the hands of the human creator. We fundamentally believe that our future of music is human. Ooh, and our mission is to help more creative humans make great original music. That seems quite a disconnection with Suno, doesn't it? What is WAVTOOL? It's a DAW, we know that, which runs in the browser. Now this is interesting. This was built by a team of only 5 music software nerds in Japan, Singapore and Canada. Oh my god. I mean, that is a fully fledged DAW from a team of 5 individuals. This was a year ago, so it may have changed, I don't know, but that's just incredible. I bet they got a good payoff. Why browser based? The good thing about that is that it's more accessible to musicians of all levels, creative work without the hindrance of technical hurdles. To us, having a browser-based platform aligns perfectly with this goal. I've recently featured BandLab, which is very similar actually, and it's online, and it's quite cool that it's online because all of the other digital audio workstations that I use are not. So Cubase, for example, FL Studio isn't online. So yeah, I think that's the way forward. I really do. I think it's just brilliant. So they use, in terms of how your content is stored and backed up, WAVTOOL caches project data and audio locally in your browser until you trigger a cloud save by going to File and Save. Local caching ensures that unsaved data is not lost if the browser tab is closed, such as if the internet goes down, or even refreshed by accidentally clicking the refresh button before saving. Once saved, your project is backed up in our secure cloud storage. Account security ensures that your data in your project cannot be seen by other users unless you explicitly share the project using the remix function, which is fair enough. In terms of compatibility, it can be used with a computer and a mouse and a keyboard. That was something I really loved, was the fact that you could press the PC or laptop or Mac keyboard and it would change the sample pitch. I just thought that was amazing. And you can play plugins via the keyboard as well. What other types of audio files can be imported? Nearly all. So MP3, WAV, FLAC and more can be imported, as well as MIDI. Just drag and drop them onto the timeline and they'll be ready to go. There's a virtual instruments and sample library. You can export projects in terms of MP3, WAV and MIDI from WAVTOOL. An open source project that allows full project conversion from WAVTOOL to other formats can be found here. Okay, that's interesting. Is there a free trial? Yes, there was. Will Suno do a free trial for these new features? I wonder. Are they going to change their tiers? Makes me wonder as well. They were offering 2 weeks free on their pro tier as well as like a trial, which is good. They say that they don't own any ownership rights to the content that you create with the software. Again, we'll need to check the terms of service when it's actually done. And finally, I've got these 2 blogs. So we've got words from WAVTOOL, prototypes and safety, empowering creativity, responsibility on WAVTOOL, as well as browser-based AI accelerated DAW announces support for third-party VST plugins. Okay, so if I have a look at the first one quickly. By the way, if you're interested, make sure you subscribe to be kept informed with Suno, UDO, Refusion, AI music tools, AI music generators, all kinds of stuff, because it really helps the channel. And we've just hit 4,500 subs, so thanks to each and every one of you for the support. Prototypes and safety. So we released the ability to train prototypes. For those that are unfamiliar with it, it's about creating the sound of an instrument or voice as an AI model, and then you're able to apply that to performances. It's a revolutionary tool that unleashes creative possibilities. With a great power comes great responsibility. For example, if you play a Chinese instrument, which is similar to the guitar, but by applying the prototype, they can find out in seconds. They can be used in the video below. Imagine yourself hearing or your little brother performing Beyonce's Single Ladies. So it's a bit like templating sounds, basically what it was. This is about vocals. The other one that specifically blog post was about was VSTs. about the VST support via the bridge. Browser-based AI accelerated DAW WAVTOOL announces support for third-party VST plugins, which is just brilliant because that's going to enhance what you can do with the tool. People could potentially just scrap Cubase, Logic Studio, FL Studio, Logic Pro, FL Studio. They could dump their own DAW if this becomes really good, as it certainly seems. And I think the issue with WAVTOOL was the fact, for some reason, it was marketed in a good way. It was in quite a few publications, but actually, was there a ton of users using it? Not compared to Suno. I mean, we do have Discord. I don't think I'm logged into Discord, but they do have a Discord server, just to let you know. So if you are interested, you could check that out. But no, I thought that was interesting. So we've covered in here, we've covered the homepage, the bridge, the blogs, and the pricing in terms of the tiers and frequently asked questions. Now, if I have a very quick look at Suno.com, what I want to do, oh yeah, this was a recent feature about extending uploads up to 8 minutes long. That was quite cool. Let's have a look at the different tiers. So currently we've got the free plan, which is fine. That doesn't include access to the latest model of 3.5. For $8 a month, you go onto the Pro plan where you can access for 4.5 and you get a load of credits. But then there's the Premier plan where they see the new stuff happen first. And that is what makes me wonder whether they're going to charge something similar. Something similar for that. In terms of extra features, you get 4 times the amount of credits that you do on the Pro plan. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So it might be that they start adding stuff to this, and hopefully the Pro account. I just think it would be nice to actually see that. So yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Hope this has brought you value. Let me know what you think. Give it a like, and I'll catch you on the next video. Look after yourselves, guys. Take care. Bye.